You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. As the pressure mounts to fix the juvenile crime crisis in the Bluff City, the Memphis Police Department said is dealing with the repeat juvenile offenders with multiple felonies. It's an issue that they say involves not only law enforcement, but community organizations and churches. Here to discuss what the MPD says needs to change in 2024 is Sergeant Louis Brownlee, MPD Public Information Officer. Thank you so much for joining me, Sergeant.
Thanks for having me.
So it seems like last year, a lot of people were trying to report that youth crime had went up. Can you tell us since then if the crime has increased or decreased?
Well, we're in the first month of the year, and good news that our Part 1 crimes in general are down 26% so far this year. The Part 1 crimes are your criminal homicides, aggravated assault, sexual assault, and robbery. Those are down 26% this year so far.
So as a student, we spend most of our days at school. So when are these crimes being committed by minors?
Sometimes during school time, when children should be at school. But this is why it's important that, people, adults particularly, you have children that are in your love space, whether your children, your nieces, nephews, your cousins, or just kids in the community. You have to pour into them because law enforcement is not the only solution to tamping down crime. It is a community effort, and we need all hands on deck, whether it's your churches, your civic organizations, your Divine Nine organizations. Everybody has a part in reducing crime.
So over the last few years, how has MPD changed the way that they handle juvenile crime?
So MPD is working with a host of people to help provide wraparound services. We want to provide diversion opportunities for students who get involved in criminal activities. We want to show them that there is a better way. We also have different units with our police department, like our community outreach program, our COPS unit, where they do so much volunteer work, helping, mentoring to kids. They participate in Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. They have a food pantry because some people have food insecurity, and that leads to crime. And so to help combat that, members of our COP unit participate in a food pantry where kids in the neighborhood or adults in the neighborhood can come to the office and they can get food and get help that they need. And we try to reach out to provide, connect them with different services to help them find jobs, mentorship. If people maybe need to go and see if they need to be mentally evaluated, they may need medication. We're just trying our best to help in every way that we can.
So does having police officers patrol the neighborhoods and actually getting to know the community, does that actually help in decrease the crime?
Absolutely. When people know who's patrolling the neighborhood, they feel comfortable, and they'll talk to those officers and they will let them know what's going on. So an officer will be able to go and speak to a person, and they may not say it out in public because they don't want people to know that they're talking with law enforcement, but they may call the officer on the side and say, hey, that robbery that happened at such and such, that was little John. And, and that tip, will help us solve crime. And if we can get that child into a diversion program, then they'll be great. Hopefully we can rehabilitate them and get them squared away so they can become productive citizens of society. But it is very important that we work in our communities, that the people know who we are, and they understand that we're just like you. It's just we wear this uniform, but we live here. A bunch of us grew up here. We've married men and women here in the community. We go to church here. So this is our home.
So you mentioned a little bit about the diversion programs that MPD and your partners created. Can you tell me specifically what they do?
So it's specifically with with Judge Sugarman and the juvenile court system. So they have a bunch of the diversion programs. We're also working with the school systems to find situations where students can go into a different avenue. But ultimately, we have to depend on the adults who who have children in their love space to pour into them. You know when some kid is bringing something bad into your home. You know when a child brings drugs, guns, stolen property. You know when that stuff comes in your home. You as a parent, you as an adult, you as a loved one who's older than this child, you have to stand up and demand that they do better.
So why do you feel like it's important to get the community and families involved with their kids to decrease this crime?
Because, again, law enforcement is only one component in reducing crime. We have to have everybody with a hands on deck, like the mayor says, a pandemic approach to reducing crime, because police can't be everywhere. We are reactionary, but you in your neighborhood, you in your home, you know when something's going on. These crimes don't occur in vacuums. People from outer space don't come to Memphis and commit crimes. We know what's happening in our neighborhoods and in our homes, and we have to step up and hold our people accountable. We have to tell our kids, no, don't do that. We have to show them that there is a better way.
So Sergeant, what would you say is the most difficult part of your job in being a leader that the Memphis community sees?
The most difficult part is, just the heartbreak of seeing people, be hurt. That's difficult. You take that home every day, but it's because we're committed. Like I said, we're from the community. We grew up here, and so to see our fellow Memphians hurting, that hurts us.
So moving back to the parents and trying to get them involved, Memphis Assistant Police Chief Don Crow told WMC that it's hard to get the parents holding their kids accountable. Why do you think the parents don't want to be involved?
Well, sometimes the parents are afraid. And again, that's why it's important that even if it's not parents, some children have better relationships with their aunts and uncles. Some children have better relationships with their cousins or with a coach or with a pastor. And that's why it's important that that person, whoever who has that type of relationship with that child, that they have to be sure that they're pouring into those children. They're trying to show them that there is a better way. Sometimes your parents tell you to do something, you don't want to hear it because it's from your parents. But if your aunt or your cousin tells you the exact same thing, it's like, wow, I didn't know that. But mom and dad maybe just told you that. Well, grandma told you that last week. So just whoever you are, if you're in some child's love space, they're right there. Love on them, coach them up, give them pointers, tell them about your experiences coming up, and just encourage them to do better.
Thank you so much, Sergeant, for joining me today and having a wonderful conversation.
Thank you for having me.
To learn more about the Memphis Police Department, visit memphispolice.org. I want to thank all of my guests for providing new insight on some of the criminal justice systems here in the Mid-South, as well as their contributions in working intensively towards social change and improvement. For more information on our programming, please check us out on the web at GHS-TV.org, where we are streaming live 24 hours a day. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Shiloh Sanders, and from all of us at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Crosstalk, and I hope to see you again.